Hi, this is Grandma's How to Do's again. Today we're going to talk about composting. First thing I do is mow with the big mower so I don't have to rake. I make lines, then I pick it up with this mower with the bagger, and I either throw it on my compost pile or in the garden right now since I don't have a compost pile going. And then I go along the walls with my weed blower. And I use my weed whip constantly. It's my best friend all summer. We'll go over there and I'm going to show you how to cut a fern in half. And I don't have room in my house to bring all my plants in. So I'm going to cut it down and only bring a little bit in. It's about 3 years old and it's getting too big. So we'll go over here. In my house, it's just too big now, overgrown, and it's got to the point where I had to put it in a bucket. Ferns love peat moss. They're very, they like light dirt. I'm just going to cut it right in half. I got a big knife. It's actually my bread knife, and it seems to be working pretty good. And the main thing here is you just cut it in half. Looks like you're being a little rough, but it'll survive. And then what I'll do is I'll put the other half in my little shed. And sometimes the Arkansas winters aren't that cold and it'll survive. If it doesn't, that's okay too. There, see? It survived. Now I could take and cut it again and put it in a much smaller pot. Then, when I bring it in, then it's so much smaller. And the bigger the pot, the bigger it grows. I won't finish it because we have too much to talk about. Okay, so I have a crepe myrtle plant that you end up getting little shoots off the mother plant. And I started this in a pot, and I don't want to babysit for it. There, I broke up the root ball a little. See this very hard red clay dirt? Well, you got to dig a $20 hole for a $2 plant. That's pretty much how it goes. Now I bought some potting mix. It's just, I got it at the co-op store. Okay, and then I just put this around, water it well, and I'll finish that later too. Now I have a little bark when I'm all done. I'm going to put this on top, and it keeps it wet for the winter, and in the spring it'll come up just as good as new. Now, as far as the compost pile goes, start out with sticks and things so there's a little air underneath. And if you can, add anything like leaves and food scraps, but no meat. If you have chickens, chicken litter, no cat, dog, anything that eats meat, don't put that on your garden. But like chicken litter, cows, anything. But let it rot and then put it in your garden, because otherwise you're going to have weeds all over the place. And when I put straw on my compost piles, or in the chicken coop, then I don't have all the weeds of the Bermuda grass. Now, if you want to know if your garden needs lime or whatever, because a good pH is about 6.5 in a garden, and so what you do is you dig about 4 holes in different areas of your garden, and you about 6 inches deep, and you put it in a container, mix it up, and then take out about a cottage cheese container full and take it to the local extension office. They're very helpful. They'll give you a sheet printout like this, and it tells if you need lime or what you need. And so and it's a free service. So that's something you can do. Okay, that's how to split up a mum. That's how to plant a crepe myrtle. Now, of course, we'll go up here, and you can always collect seeds. Just about every plant you can think of has some kind of a seed that if you look close enough, you'll find it. Now, the rule of thumb is, these are irises and things. The rule of thumb is if it blooms in the summer, you should transplant it in the fall. If it blooms in the fall, you should transplant it in the spring. And that's just kind of how it is. You shouldn't transplant things when they're in full bloom. Now, like I say, the mums in the spring, when they start coming up about an inch or two high, you'll have thousands of mums if you want them. Okay, here's a cypress vine. There's tons of seeds on there, and hummingbirds love that plant. Well, it's supposed to get down to 20 degrees, not below zero, northerners. It's above zero. And so I'm going to start you should take them in earlier than this, but this is a double hibiscus, and it doesn't like winter. So I'll cut that off and put it in a pot, and I might put that in the chicken coop too. Now here's a hydrangea, and there's so many different varieties now that you can't keep up. How I'm going to make more hydrangeas is I'm going to take these leaves off a few things here, and then I'm going to bury it. Bury it like that. Alright, and then I put a rock on there. Now where I took those leaves off, next spring there will be a root, and I'll have a new plant. Then I'll just chop that off, new plant. Okay, same with jasmine. Jasmine, it just grows everywhere actually. So now I put it in this dirt, and it's starting to take a hold. It's got all new roots. And all you do there is you grab a bunch and you take a few leaves off, stick it in the dirt, put a rock on top, and now I can chop this off, and that's a whole new plant. Okay, we'll go over here. Last but not least, let's see. So the compost pile, back to that, just keep putting anything you can think of on there. And the more it sits, the better, because there's less seeds and stuff like that. Now here's my asparagus fern I didn't want to throw away because they're just starting to get big, so I put both of them in here, and I will take that one in. Here's a rabbit's foot fern. It's kind of cool to look at. It's like rabbit's feet furry, and it's kind of creepy actually, but I might take that one in. Now coleus, I love coleus, but they're way too big to take in the house. So I just took cuttings and I started them, and they can sit in there all winter. And there's two different colors. So now in the spring, I just start taking cuttings off of here, and I'll have 50 or whatever. Here's a hydrangea, real pretty. I think it's called Endless Summer. And usually when they're pink, there's a lot of alkaline, and if they're blue, they're acidy. I think that's how it goes. Now impatiens are another one. They have a seed pod that pops. This one doesn't actually have it, but I collect all those seeds, and then in the spring, I just plant them again. They're real tiny. That's what they look like. And so now I'll have many impatient seeds. Alright, then, things like this. Rosemary, it grows in a tall bush here, and I don't really have to dry it because it grows all year round here. But if you want to dry it, you can just let it dry natural and then pull it off the ends, and it smells really good, like sage or something like that. It kind of smells like. Alright, Well, let me see here. I kind of made a few notes because, well, now if you're going to prune, which we will do later, don't prune anything right unless you do it right after it blooms. Because a lot of these plants, they winter over and they're making the blossoms for the next year. So a lot of times people cut them down at the wrong time and then they don't have blossoms on. And so that's not a thing to do. All right, so on your compost pile, back to that, peat moss, sandy loam, anything like leaves and food scraps, all that stuff, just keep putting on there till it's half the size, then it's ready to put in your garden and till it in. All right, let's see here. Things like azaleas, they like it very acidy, and so to make things more acidy, you can put pine needles, like wood chips, things like that. We have a road crew that chips along the roads, and they drop off a lot of that in our on our property, and we let that rot down. But that really needs to rot for at least 2 years because it has things like poison ivy and more weeds, and so I love it. It's just that you need to watch it. And things like cabbage, they like it more lime because they like an alkaline soil, like 7.5. So, but you can tell that by your chart that you get back from the extension. Now, if you're going to pot up a plant and you don't have holes in the bottom for drainage, you need to put like rocks or little styrofoam pellets or something like that, because otherwise it'll be rotten in there. Now, knockout roses, that's one of my favorites. You really do nothing almost all year. Those roses right over there. And I don't know if they grow up north or not, but I would sure try it. They are just beautiful. And they bloom probably until January now. So, and off and on throughout the year. All right, I think that's all that was on here. One last thing is that a lot of times if you have bugs and things and you want to kill them and you don't want to use poisons, I'll try this diatomaceous earth, and you can actually eat it. It's for parasites, it's for inside, outside. They say you can deworm animals with them, but I don't know if I would. But you can actually take some if you want to deworm yourself, I guess. So anyway, sometimes I had squash bugs this year, and I put that dust in this little thing, and then you just poof, it just poofs. And then it coats your plants, and it seemed to kill the squash bugs without poison. All right, one little project here with flowers and such, as long as I'm here. A lot of times any time of year, you can take juicy little flowers, and nasturtium that was, and pansies in the winter. Now this is 20 years old and it still has a little color to it, but and then kids can do this. And all you do is you take a juicy flower, like here's a nasturtium, and you put it on a thing for your little kids, Any little kid can do this. And so then you do that. And if you want to color around it with a little pen or, embellish, and then you can put it in an embroidery hoop or something like that. That's kind of a fun project for the kids on a rainy day. All right, I guess that's about it for today. And we will continue on some indoor projects maybe today or tomorrow. So, what you're saying. So anyway, that's it for today, and I will see you next time.